kids, we have with us here today Miss Wendy Means. Wendy,
Hi.
thanks for coming.
Great to be here.
I'm glad you could take time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
It's a relief to be here. It was a George Floyd stuff this morning. I was down.
Oh, Lord.
Now I'm up a little bit, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, good, good. There's been a lot going on lately in town. What are some of the things you've been doing with your art? You run, you call it Wendevious,
Yep.
correct? And your art is beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It is, it is. We got to get a piece on the wall in here. Tell us a little bit about your process and with the art, and some of the stuff that has a lot of meaning to you in the art realm.
Well, it's interesting. I had stepped away from art for almost 30 years. Mm-hmm. When I was a teenager, I had scholarships to 3 different art schools: School of the Art Institute, RISD, Notre Dame of Ohio.
Ooh.
So I ended up going to the School of the Art Institute, and I never made it out of my freshman year.
Many don't. You're not the first.
Well, it still was a lot of money, even with the scholarship and all the supplies. And I'm not snooty. I'm not a highfalutin type of person, and that's what it was like there. So.
Right. Yeah, some colleges, universities, they all have a different flavor. Some of them are, like you say, a little bit snooty and that kind of thing, and then some of them are super laid back. My entire time in college, for the most part, except for maybe 1 or 2 semesters, for the most part, my time in college was really laid back. I didn't go to college till I was 30, and so several years passed before I knew it. Really, it really did, and being, an older person in the classroom, it was really something else. A lot of my classes, there was just, everybody was, I was old enough to be their dad, some of them, at the time, no kidding. And I just really enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed it. So, my experience was okay. And I didn't live in the barracks. I worked full-time while going to school full-time. It wasn't easy. A lot of it was night classes and things like that. So it actually took a little longer, those night classes and everything.
Yeah,
so,
yep.
But finally got out of it, and went into the nursing field.
That's what I did. I went kind of out of fine arts and tried my hand at the digital art, like interactive multimedia. They called it back then, back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. But I kept getting jobs in my field, and I was just, why am I going to pay for school when I could just go work?
Right.
But yeah, I got out of the fine art thing for money, and then later on down the road, I ended up realizing I was been disabled since birth, but did not realize it. I just thought everybody had the same kind of physical struggles I did, and it's gotten worse as I got older. So yeah, I stayed away from the art thing, and I got married for a few years not too long ago, I think 2013. And when that divorce hit, I was stuck with a house payment, a car payment. I tried to get all these jobs doing stuff online because I'm on disability. I really can't show up for 8 hours day after day. It just my body, it doesn't work with that. So
Right.
and none of that panned out. So there's that Janis Joplin line from Bobby McGee: "Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose." Well, I've got a kid, and I needed to support that kid, and I thought about going back to school, but that's still not money right away. Right. And I said, well, there's one thing I got in my back pocket I know how to do, and that's art. And it is a steep learning curve for me. I'm still on it, because, it had been years, and I just had to relearn everything, what paints were. I consider myself an outsider artist, because I'm not a joiner. I haven't joined any groups of artists.
Groups and clubs.
Yeah, and stuck with a school. I kind of do my thing. I've been I've been encouraged to join some memberships here in Jacksonville, some artist coalitions and stuff, and It's just
It ain't me.
No, it's not. I've been doing women. I did a show last month at the Art Collective. Other than that, I've been doing some women's shows, femme art shows, and women writing for a change. And to be honest, I kind of don't feel comfortable in the women's shows. I know back in my early 20s, people, when I show art, they always thought it was a man's art. They never, even with my name on there, they never realized they were looking at a woman's art. And I don't know what that means or what that says about me, but I do notice when I'm in these women's shows, I feel like my work just looks so different.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, yeah, so I'm open. I'm trying to say yes to as many things as possible.
Right.
So definitely I said yes to this today because I'm trying to just keep saying yes because opportunities only come in if you take them. So.
And we'll actually include any links that you want to send us.
Great.
You can do that through our private group. You can let us know or send us an email either way. If you have like certain web links or anything to your stuff.
I do.
Even hashtags. If you have a bunch of hashtags that you may possibly use, some people do have that, and we put them in the description for you.
Awesome.
And I was talking with several artists recently. A lot of the discussion was around how the pandemic has affected them. A lot of the galleries, both small and large, have closed for months. Yellow House is still closed, but some of the larger ones that have a bigger budget, they've been able to open back up, and they have bigger spaces. But there's been a paradigm shift, in the way even artists, not only just the small businesses, but how artists, have pivoted into the new normal that we have because of the pandemic. A lot of people have shifted to selling their wares online, and now there's this whole thing with the NFTs. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
There's going to be a live NFT show in New York at some gallery.
I'm trying to make my decision on where I want to be with that.
That takes a little bit to digest.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I want to jump into that or not. Right now, I'm just looking where things are going because I'm not trying to be funny, but I just don't think that big money is going to come to someone like me. I mean, disabled, woman, biracial, which means black in America, and
yeah. Well, it's hard to really grasp it, especially somebody that's like old school like myself. It's still hard for me to grasp the whole NFT and Bitcoin and all of those virtual money. And I recently read a report that they're estimating that Bitcoins are going to be worth upwards of $400,000 by 2025.
I own some Bitcoin.
So, probably a good idea to hang on to it, Don't bail on it at all. 2025, the economists are saying that it's really going to explode. And a lot of people got in on it early, and they're in a good spot. Again, this NFT thing's non-fungible tokens. It's a virtual digital art form, and this gallery, like I was talking about in New York, what they'll be doing with the NFTs is the actual monitors. The gallery is set up with all digital monitors on the walls, with the artist's digital pieces being shown on the screen. Well, your NFT bid gets you to take that screen home.
Oh, wow.
With the artist's art on it. So, and they're working on the availability of people to actually sell physical, prints of their stuff, like Leilani's piece. You get prints and sell them online too.
Now, see that
supplement.
That I do. I have my own website, Wendevious.com, and then through Etsy too. I sell prints on canvas. I sell cups. I sell masks, which we may have to take off the site soon because hopefully we're all getting vaccinated.
Well, it's a lot of places are still saying they want you to wear a mask when you come in. A lot of, and that's happening a lot with restaurants, but some of the grocery stores are still saying wear a mask when you come in.
Oh, I still do.
Yeah,
in the grocery store and
Walmart,
stuff.
Circle K, they all still have a sign on the door.
Oh yeah, I'll keep doing it as long as they want, but I feel like that's going to give way, you know, in the next several months. And
It'll start weaning quite a bit.
hopefully, I'm hoping to bring T-shirts back though, because I don't understand why. But during the pandemic, that's one way it changed. I had to take all my T-shirts off my site because they weren't coming in. They weren't getting the merchandise in. I have no idea why.
Huh.
Right when the toilet paper started going, or maybe they started wiping their butts with T-shirts. I don't know.
Like the old cloth divers, you can wash that shit.
But yeah, I'm hoping to bring the T-shirts back. Though.
Well, you know, talking about the toilet paper, you know that big barge that's stuck in the Suez Canal.
They got it free this morning.
They got it free. Well, see, they were saying that, you know, if the mulch that they're transporting from Brazil doesn't get through, it's going to affect the toilet paper industry.
Oh, really?
Brazil supplies 30-something% of the world's wood pulp.
I didn't know that.
So, and they had a lot of containers on that ship.
I've started
billions
learning
of dollars a day.
I've started learning Portuguese though. I mean,
really?
I start and then I stop and I start and I stop. And now I'm thinking I'm ready to start again.
The similarities between a lot of the languages, they're there. There's a lot of them there. I was married to a Hispanic woman from Costa Rica for 11 years, and she picked up on Italian and Portuguese like it was nothing. She just picked it right up.
Once you know the verb conjugations in one of the Romance languages and what's male and female, you're good to go. I didn't take enough French, though, to know enough of the male and female. I know some.
That's a little different. Yeah,
I don't know. I just kept watching things from Brazil, and I'm like, well, I need to know what they're saying.
I loved watching the Hispanic movies, Latino movies, and some of their you know, like soap operas, but they call them novellas. Yeah. I used to watch those with the subtitles all the time, and I started picking up a lot of it. Even way before we moved to Costa Rica, and her family's over there. So
I have a painting from a lady who's from Costa Rica from back then.
Way back, the way she picked up English, she had moved to Panama when she was a teenager, and she began listening to American music. And she picked up on the language by listening to the music and watching our TV shows. That's how she learned it. Over the years, she got real good at it. Let's talk about what you have coming up. Do you have any? You're thinking about? You say you pivoted into the digital, aspect of the art. You'll be selling physical stuff too online. So we'll get your links in there. Do you foresee any installations or shows coming up? Like you say, like you were talking about, the film art and things like that.
I'm in those two shows right now. I have been in some online magazines recently. VoyageMIA out of Miami. Camp Elasticity, it's a magazine out of Denver. And now I'm starting to write for like an article with several artists in it for a new feature called Shout Out Miami.
Oh, okay.
It's in another online magazine forum. So right now I'm doing that. I'm redoing my studio right now, and it's looking great. I'll eventually start getting some more sound equipment in there because I'm interested in doing voiceover and things that too.
And we were talking that now that there's a lot of voiceover software and apps and things like that available that I didn't know existed. I didn't know honestly that there was a difference. And there's also translation apps for on-screen translation.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to keep doing. I have a new piece planned already. I just need to do a couple days of work around the house, and then I'll be getting back into doing that. My style, I call it Metarealism. I guess it's surrealistic, but I add a layer because everything has to have like at least 3 layers of meaning, and I play with planes a little bit in my work and stuff. And
fantastic.
So I'm going to keep that going too.
That's good. Well, stick around. Don't go anywhere. We got a lot more to talk about coming up in the next segment.
So with the Relevant app, I can, inside of my vibe, I can say, yo, I got a show today. Oh, come to this address and you can see this show. And when you get to that address, I put my messaging within a mile radius, and when you get in it, you hear the other message that my show is actually in this warehouse over here. There's no walker-bys, walker-ups.
Yeah.
They have access to you and what you're doing. I think that's the dopest thing about this relevant app based on the local thing.
All right, so Wendy, in the previous segment, we were talking about, the digital aspect of your art endeavors, which has really become, since the pandemic has come in, has really kicked a lot of people into gear. The digital arts. They've been around for several years, and now they're getting better and better and better. And now more and more people are jumping into it because of the quarantines and all this social distancing and no live performances and things like that. So it's actually a perfect time, really, to step up your game in the digital realm. And so you were talking about voiceovers, and
Yes.
we mentioned that there's a lot more. Software available to people that do software or voiceovers and also translations and that kind of thing. So how do you see yourself moving? You say you're redoing your studio.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a multimedia studio. You're going to be slinging paint.
Yes. I already have like some amps and things like this size,
there
but
you go.
I need to beef stuff up. Yeah.
So this is an inspiration wall for you.
Of course. What do they call those? Those the boards? Image boards?
Image boards, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Where you put everything on that you want to be and that you hope for. Yes.
A lot of these
I
are
want to be
original
Leilani
pieces.
Leo when I grow
There you
up.
go. There you
Yes.
go. We're going to try to get more of her stuff. We're going to get a piece from Kelly to put in here. So
We love Kelly.
if you got anything you want to hang up on the wall, the next time you come in, bring it with you.
Awesome. I
We'll
did a few
film it,
12 by
show
12
it.
things recently. So.
Oh yeah. Well, they did the down at the public library, the blocks that they were doing. You know what I'm talking about? I think they were 10 by 10.
10 by 10s, yeah.
10 by 10 blocks.
Which I heard about too late. So.
Too late, yeah. Well, last year I registered for one. You can register and then just go pick it up at the library, right? A blank one.
Okay.
And that they did. And then it got to the point where we were spending so much time doing this, and I just said, well, hell with it. I was going to try. I was going to throw together something, multimedia, using some newspapers and stuff like that. But everybody really got creative with that. And that would be cool. We could have some small spaces up here with little pieces and stuff.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, having like just a slight theme.
Mm-hmm.
I take off with ideas once you give me just a little. I used to work with clients when I did more graphic work, and I would love. They wouldn't know what they wanted. They just have this little idea. You could come up with this amazing thing, and I like to do my art like that too. So I'm always like making notes of little phrases that sound interesting or one idea, and then I just grow it and grow it and grow it. But so yeah, I do like doing shows where they give you a theme and.
I've
Like
noticed
the 10 by 10 would have made me very creative.
Those are pretty cool. Those are really cool. And I know that you were talking about you hear in your mind phrases and you keep notes on that. I know that Hope McMath does a lot of prints.
Yes.
With one-liners and phrases and stuff, and some of them are very, very, very good. And she sells the prints, and so a lot of people actually do that too. One of the local artists who's the attorney, Deborah, do you know her?
Yes. Deborah Reed.
That's right. That's right. She does a lot of the multimedia stuff when she puts together things with some printing, some numbers, letters, words, that kind of thing. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. I've seen some beautiful work around here. Yeah. Have you had any installations over at the Yellow House?
I haven't. I had been in touch with Hope, and we had something scheduled, and then a hurricane came, and then she's a very, very busy lady, I'm told.
Yes.
And so it hasn't come to fruition at this point. But
because she has closed, the Yellow House during the pandemic. A lot of her things are online, You know, she does the webinars and, you know, Zoom meetings with a lot of people. And then there's a couple days a week she goes to that farm in Hastings, which is where she gets the fruit for her food giveaway. So she's doing a food giveaway too, but she barters her time down there. She just goes down there to the farm on a day and, you know, works in the farm with them. And then she gets to take home a truckload of food. They pay her in food. And then she puts it out there in the neighborhood. And what she doesn't leave in front of the Yellow House, of course, she delivers it to people in the neighborhood, you know, families in need. That's really a food desert over there.
I have a next door neighbor that she's been a great patron of mine, actually. But yeah, she delivers free salad. Yeah, you can go over to her house and pick your cilantro and pick your lettuce and also.
That's excellent. You know, everybody pulling together, you know, during a rough time. Jacksonville is certainly not it's not the art mecca. But
it's a lot better than what people think it is.
I was just saying, it is fast
shocked.
becoming very, very. There's some artists here in town, yourself included, super talented.
Yeah, because I'm not from here. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and then, like I said, went to Chicago. And I was, for the size of the town and, you know, southern and stuff, there's a lot going on here.
Well, one of the discussions I had with Hope about, you know, the pandemic response in the art community, about not being able to, you know, of course, take their paintings and art and photographs to galleries and such. There are still people that still the pandemic didn't really affect them that much. People that are, you know, somewhat well off, and now because the schools are closed, some of them, their children are home. They're not going to camp. They're not going to school. They're at home.
Mine's at home.
So a lot, you know, people that already had a fat pocketbook, they're actually saving money during this time, and some of them are still buying art.
I know.
You just have to find those pockets, you know.
With FemArt that I've shown with a lot, they went online. They did all their they took all their shows online to deal with it. Yeah.
Well, that's really, it's the future. It's the new normal. if there is a normal, right? Well, you can certainly see where it would be beneficial once you get the hang of it. You know, there is a learning curve, especially if you haven't been involved, you know, in the online world, you know, which some people haven't. But I would say that most of the artists have dabbled in it over the years.
Things have gotten so user-friendly, too. I used to be really valuable in the computer world, and now I'm just another Joe, because everybody can, like, easily pick up the software, and they made it so user-friendly.
Yeah. The new platforms and some of the new upgrades to older platforms have made it where an artistic person that's a little, you know, quick on the draw, you know, that can pick it up, can put together a darn decent website without hiring a web designer.
That's what I did. I didn't know anything about putting together a website, and then I just said, let's just wing it.
For years and years and years, I was developing WordPress websites and doing mostly social media management. A lot of that has dropped off over the years, although people are still doing it, you know, hiring people to do it for them. A lot of the general public doesn't seem to understand the work that goes into putting together a full, you know, mix, you know, for your business, you know, the website, the social media links and all this other stuff, backlinking and SEO and all this other stuff. Once you get the hang of it, it is pretty easy, but there's still work involved. And you know, you give them a quote on a website and a social media package, and they shit their pants. Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, years ago, you could get a lot of clients per month doing that.
I know. I was going to go into that, and then I realized that things were getting so user friendly, and I said. Yeah.
It's a struggler. I've spoken with several local artists going into, they already had a website that looked pretty darn good. It was okay. But then integrating, with the social media aspect of it has been a challenge for them to keep up. And I tell them that, you know, as long as if you treat that social media as if it is part of your business, it's not just, you know, you're scrolling through Facebook. That's not what it is. There's thought that goes into it.
Yep, I've set up a store through Facebook. Yeah.
There's thought that goes into it. Planning out your posts, writing, the right kind of copy, using the right images.
I actually would love to find somebody, manager-wise, to help me with that stuff. I got the know-how, but I don't like talking about myself. I can't be like, look what I did. Isn't this great? It's not, I gotta have somebody else say it for me.
There are people that actually use their sex appeal to sell their stuff. There's a lot of them that do that, and truthfully, they get a whole heck of a lot of hits on Instagram. I know a couple of ladies up in Georgia. They hawk cigars, but they pose in negligee and all this, smoking cigars.
Yeah,
and they get thousands of hits.
I'm 50. The negligee is not coming out.
I'm just saying.
Check out my OnlyFans.
Well, they found that niche and they're, going with it. It is a lot of work to get a lot of traffic. It really is.
It is. Yeah.
And unless you're paying for it, which is part of an expense, a business expense.
I offered my son that I'd pay him, but he's just so, I'm going to be a YouTube star and a gamer. He's one of those. So.
Well, there was a time, there's actually a documentary about the people that have made small fortunes off of YouTube. But those are people that have 1 million followers, 1.5 million followers.
Yeah, you have to get like 10,000 to get advertising out there, and then that's what gets you the money. Yep.
Yeah, and then the ad revenue is really not that much early on like that.
Right.
And then you also have what they call the Instagram influencers. Some of those are the same way. Got 1 million followers, and they do the IGTV, a lot of videos. There's now TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok's taking over. Yep.
It's and
I did my first TikTok this week.
I've got it on my phone and I've never used it.
That's what I did. I had it on my phone. I wouldn't use it. Then I was like, I'll do it.
My sister's addicted to the videos on there. She loves the people doing crazy stuff, and she's always sending me a link to them. I'm like, I'm not going on TikTok tonight.
I had to go on it because somebody started to try to steal my social media handle. So now everything that comes out, every new app, I have to get on it real quick and put my same social media at Wendevious so that I don't, lose it. Somebody doesn't steal my branding.
There's a lot of people doing hacking out there.
Yep.
There's a lot of hackers out there. And you got to watch, too. The local artist Ed Hall?
Yes.
Does the political satire art, cartoons. He's a sharp-witted guy. Some of the stuff he puts out is on point. But
didn't they change one of his? They changed one of his cartoons recently.
Somebody
didn't
did.
Yeah.
Somebody pirated one of his cartoons and changed it up, and he was ticked. And he says it happens a lot, but he's syndicated, and he's actually printed in Europe and France and Italy and Spain and all over the place. So there's a large group of people that look at his stuff and they steal it. They might take some. He does a lot of black and whites, and they'll color in some of them, and they won't even change the art. I mean, they just take the art, color it in a little bit, erase the signature on it, the autograph, and it gets posted somewhere online, and he usually finds it. He finds it. He's pretty good at that. The man pumps out 2 or 3 cartoons a night.
So maybe he should go into NFTs.
Unbelievable.
Because then he could sell his metadata and keep portions every time it gets resold, and then it's stolen as much as they want, but it's not going to get them money like it's going to get him. Right.
Yeah, so he's a perfect candidate for the NFTs.
Yep.
Yeah, I would think so. Well, I'm so glad that you came in today and stuck around. I'm glad you put up with me. Yeah. It's always fun. You're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
And again, next time, bring in something we can put on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have you in every episode. Well, listen, I'm glad you guys joined us. You can come back and see us anytime. Facebook, Instagram, The Contrast Project, like, share, comment. And on our YouTube channel, like, share, comment. And don't forget to smash the subscribe button. And ding that bell. See you next time. Peace.